Published 5:20 Eastern Standard Time, the 5th of November 2018. Updated 8:49 Eastern Standard Time, the 5th of November 2018. The Pakistani lawyer who helped free a Christian woman who had been sentenced to death in Pakistan for blasphemy has fled to the Netherlands, a Christian rights group said on Monday. Bibi, 53, was sentenced to death in 2010 for allegedly insulting the Prophet Mohammed, and Wednesday's successful appeal sparked several days of violent protests across the country. The demonstrations, which saw thousands call for Ms Bibi and her legal team to be executed, only subsided after the government agreed that the mother of 5 would be banned from leaving Pakistan after her release. Her lawyer, Saiful Muluk, left Pakistan on Saturday, due to fear that he could be attacked, saying it's not possible for me to live in Pakistan. Controversial. Bibi, 53, was sentenced to death in 2010, after being accused of insulting Islam during an argument over a water bowl with a group of Muslim women in Punjab yesterday. Ms Bibi's husband made an impassioned plea to Donald Trump and Theresa May, asking them to offer the family asylum, saying he feared for his family's safety. Massey criticized the government deal, saying it was wrong to ban Ms Bibi, who is reportedly still being held in prison awaiting a release, from leaving Pakistan. In a video released this weekend, Mr. Massey said, "I request President Donald Trump to help us to leave the country, and I request the Prime Minister of the UK to do their level best to help us to grant us freedom." Several parties in Dutch Parliament have said they support providing temporary shelter to Bibi if she flees there. Spain and Italy have also offered Ms Bibi, who is due to be released from prison at some point later this week, and her family asylum, provided they are able to leave Pakistan. Ms Bibi's husband Massey, pictured with their daughter Aisham, has asked Donald Trump and Theresa May to grant the family asylum on Saturday. Mr. Massey told German radio the court had been very courageous to quit his wife, who is reportedly still being held in prison awaiting a release. "The current situation is very dangerous for us. We have no security and are hiding here and there, frequently changing our location," he told the German radio station, saying he was worried his wife would be attacked in prison. Mr. Massey demanded the government reinforce Ms Bibi's protection in prison, worrying that she may be attacked. He cited the case of 2 Christian men who were shot dead after a court acquitted them in another blasphemy case. Ms Bibi's daughter Aisham Massey said the family have been forced to live on the move due to the threats against their lives. "We have been moving around from home to home, staying away from any places where people who hate us could find us. Sometimes we have seen and heard the large riots and we have watched as little TV as possible. All it shows us is how many people hate us and want us dead. I have cried for joy when I heard my mother would be set free. I now cry for the despair of our situation. Only God can save us all." The Supreme Court's decision to overturn Ms Bibi's blasphemy convictions sparked violent protests, seen here on Sunday, calling for the mother of 5 to be executed. The protests only subsided after Khan's government made a deal with hardline Islamists that they could appeal her release, and that Ms Bibi would have to stay in the country. Despite Friday's deal, the protests continued across Pakistan this weekend. Wilson Chowdhury, for the British Pakistani Christian Association, said the family was resting its hopes on the US, Britain or Canada, to grant them asylum and help them reach a place of safety. These nations have the largest Pakistani Christian communities, Chowdhury said, added that Massey also wants asylum for some members of the extended family and those who have helped with his wife's case, one of whom could speak English. "If Bibi leaves the country, every family member, every person associated to her, will be killed," he said. Chowdhury, whose organization is running a petition to help get Ms Bibi to a safe nation, said the family's initial relief at the acquittal has turned into anguish. "The daughters are weeping. They still haven't seen their mother. The family is totally shattered," he said. "They absolutely don't know when they will see their mother." Since the court decision, with the violence and the protests, it is too dangerous for them to see their mother in jail. Protests involving thousands of demonstrators demanding that Ms Bibi be hanged, spearheaded by the hardline Tehreek-i-Labbaik Pakistan (TLP) party, erupted moments after the Supreme Court overturned the conviction on Wednesday. Khan's government reached a deal with TLP and other Islamist groups on Friday to end the protests, with various levels of success. What is next? Ms Bibi is set to be freed from prison, but the family has said it is going to be too dangerous for them to stay in Pakistan. A huge crowd of Islamists gathers near the Parliament House in Islamabad on Friday on a third consecutive day of protests against the acquittal of Ms Bibi. Earlier this week, a supporter of a radical Islamic group stands guard as protesters block a main road to condemn a Supreme Court decision that acquitted Ms Bibi. Protest supporters of a hardline Islamist party held a protest in Lahore after Ms Bibi's conviction was overturned on Wednesday, as well as a travel ban preventing Ms Bibi from leaving the country. The Pakistani government agreed not to object to the TLP or other hardline movements appealing the release, which has now been filed with the court. There will be a war if they send Ms out of country, TLP leader Cleric Khadim Hussain Rizvi said after the deal was reached. On Sunday, Twitter suspended Rizvi's account after inflammatory statements targeting the judiciary, prime minister, and military after the acquittal of a Christian woman accused of blasphemy. The government said, "We sent a request to Twitter that this account has been inciting hate and violence," two senior officials at the Pakistan Telecommunication Authority told Reuters. The TLP condemned the suspension of Rizvi's account, terming it a conspiracy by the opponents of the protection of prophethood and Islam. A second account that was created on Sunday was also suspended soon after. Despite Friday's deal, protests continued in several locations throughout the weekend, with hundreds arrested for violence and causing damage to property. In Punjab province alone, police arrested 1,100 people for violating public order, injuring police officers and damaging public and private properties and vehicles. In addition, police are seeking to take action against 2,500 unidentified individuals for thrashing citizens, damaging government and private properties and looting people on roads, Dawn.com reported. Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan (TLP) supporters chant slogans during a protest against the court decision to overturn the conviction across the nation. TLP supporters blocked the road carrying placards demanding that Ms Bibi should be hanged in Faisalabad on Wednesday. A TLP holds a placard reading, "The only punishment for prophets, blasphemers, to sever the head," during a protest in Islamabad. Ms Bibi's case outraged Christians worldwide and has been a source of division within Pakistan, where two politicians who sought to help her were assassinated, including Punjab Governor Salman Taseer, who was shot by his own bodyguard. The allegations against Ms Bibi date back to 2009, when she was working in a field near her home village in Sheikhupura, Punjab, and was asked to fetch water. The Muslim women she was laboring with objected, saying that as a non-Muslim Ms Bibi was unfit to drink from the same water bowl as them. Ms Bibi would later say that the women insulted her religion, to which she responded, "I believe in my religion and in Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for the sins of mankind. What did your Prophet Mohammed ever do to save mankind?" This prompted the Muslim women to go to a local imam and accuse Ms Bibi of blasphemy against the Prophet Muhammad. Happier times, Ms Bibi is seen with her two youngest children, Asham, left, and her sister Esha, right, who has learning difficulties, now aged 18 and 17. Before Ms Bibi could be arrested on any official charges, a violent mob descended on their family home, and beat Ms Bibi up in front of her children. The abuse was so violent, police were called to the scene, but after rescuing the mother of 5, they arrested her and threw her in jail, and a year later she was convicted of blasphemy. Blasphemy is a charge so sensitive in Pakistan that anyone even accused of insulting Islam risks a violent and bloody death at the hands of vigilantes. The charge is punishable by a maximum penalty of death under legislation that rights groups say is routinely abused by religious extremists as well as ordinary Pakistanis to settle personal scores. The law does not define what blasphemy constitutes, and evidence is often not reproduced in court for fear of committing a fresh offense. Despite this, calls for reform of the blasphemy law have regularly been met with violence and rejected.